The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Hope you and your family are enjoying the holidays. As we make our way to a new year, how about taking some new financial habits with you? Tonight, we talk about fiscal responsibility in 2026. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Now, many people make New Year's resolutions. That's nothing new. And you guessed it. Outside of losing weight, I think this is number one: to save more money, invest, or even start a new business. And they often find themselves right here, another year, having done none of the above. And so tonight, Young Money Solutions is back just in time for the new year to get you started, and I mean really started, and get you on your way. Welcome CEO Howard Johnson, Byron Ferguson, COO of Young Money Solutions, and Jay Smith, the Vice President and Public Relations and Outreach Officer at Young Money Solutions. Gentlemen, good evening to all of you, in fact. It's good to have you all here. Welcome. I thank you all for joining me from Florida, but this is amazing. We are used to having Young Money Solutions here, just not the whole top tier. So it's good to see you all. Happy holidays to each of you.
Good evening, Shanique, and good evening to the Bahamas.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. Thank you for having us as well.
Yes, good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. And yes, thank you for having us.
Yes, absolutely, gentlemen. My pleasure. By the way, you all having a great holiday season. Everything is good. You were fiscally smart and responsible.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
Yes.
So I know this
you have
is
to practice what we preach.
Yeah. We want to hear that, and we'll hear how you do it as well, because I know this is the week after Christmas, so people have already done their damage, but it's still time to catch up. It's certainly time to be smarter and more fiscally responsible in 2026 as we about to step into 2026. And so, gentlemen, once again, good evening, happy holidays to each of you. It's good to have you all here. Let's just jump right in. Now, this is quite unique, how you all, I guess, titled tonight's show, and it's called Dashing Through the Money. My God, I guess people most perhaps who are watching this evening have done just that. But let's just kind of jump in right there, gentlemen. What does it mean to dash through the money, and how often have we done this and catch ourselves like this right here, just about almost a week after Christmas, and you're feeling like, why did I have to spend that? Why did I have to get that?
Well, Shanique, this is definitely a vicious cycle for us, especially in our communities of color, right? It's Christmas time, the Yuletide season, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, all of these things are going on. It's Christmas season in the Bahamas. It's Junkanoo season. There's parties, food, gifts, travel, gatherings. And there's a lot of high spending pressure, lots of social expectations. Children are expecting these gifts and stuff. Families visiting from out of town. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and it doesn't snow in the Bahamas. So there's no dashing through the snow, but there definitely is dashing through the money.
That's what we do best, don't we? We dash through the money, and we spend just for spending. I mean, it's rare you would meet someone who say, no, this Christmas is going to be about family, about gathering, about having a good time with my family. No, it has to come with things as well. So listen, yes, gentlemen. By the way, did Jay and Byron, did you all want to say anything before we jump in?
Just that what Howard said was key. It's very true. And getting into the holiday spirit, it becomes contagious. Like I said, you start, and once you let that floodgate open, it can just run rampant, and then you forget all about what budget you might have even had in place, because you want to feel like you're doing and giving, but it can get out of control if you don't rein in it.
Absolutely. Quickly, it can get out of control. I mean, even for those like you guys who are fiscally responsible. By the way, maybe if we can start this evening by knowing how you all prepare for a new year fiscally, so that people can know that, listen, you didn't start where you are, and this is what you've made practice each year or about to head into every new year to sort of have a fresh fiscal start and slate. And so that you can truly set realistic goals for wherever you are to master that new year?
Well, I'll start it off real quick. So first of all, for me, I take a retrospective look at everything that I've done over the course of the last calendar year, the last 12 months, whether it's in the area of saving and budgeting, whether it's in the area of investing, or it's in the area of retirement planning. I go over everything with, the proverbial fine-tooth comb, and I try to look at the things that I've not done correctly. We try to do most things correctly, but there's always room for improvement. And I just look at what I've done as far as saving and budgeting. What can I do better? Where can I squeeze out a few more dollars? How could I have budgeted and managed the money better? What could I have done better with my investments? Could I have put a little bit more into my investments? Could I have bought better investments? And could I have put more into my 401k? These are the things that I look at and I evaluate at the end of the year so that going into the next year, I can do some things better.
Howard, that just sounds like a whole master's degree thesis that you, but this is so important though. This is what you do. You take the time and you scrutinize every single area where there's savings and investments to ensure that you met your goals.
Yes.
Yeah, just to add to that, I think, just to echo what Howard said, it's so important for us to plan. And you don't necessarily plan, every year we know Christmas is coming around, we know New Year's is coming around.
Right.
So it just makes sense to plan. It might not be something that we're used to doing, but it's something that we have to do. We want to be fiscally, financially secure in our lives,
Yes. And so, gentlemen, okay, let's just move right into our discussion now. And I want you all to feel free to talk, guys. This is no you talk, and then you. Let's have a wonderful discussion. We have a good hour to get into it. I want my audience to be fully informed and feel as though they were brought into this discussion tonight so that they can really, truly walk more seasoned, more sensible, and more measured into 2026 and throughout the year. Now, I like this. Give every dollar a job. That is super important. We know that Christmas happened, Harwood, you mentioned about the junkanoo, the family gatherings, the gift givings, the spending because it's there to spend, the spending because why not? It's Christmas. So there is the overspent and the overspent crew, and then there is the prevention crew. Let's talk about those two crews before we talk about how you give every dollar a job and why that is so important in 2026.
Yeah, so Shanique, we find ourselves, especially during the Yuletide season, right? We find ourselves falling into one of two categories. We're either in the overspent crew. These are the people who, by this time, Christmas Eve, right? We've already blown through everything. That budget, we don't have any more cash. Our credit cards are maxed out. We are stressed about what's going to happen in January and early 26 because we've gone all out. We've been partying. We've been having and all of the things that I said at the top of the show in the intro. That's the overspend crew. We're done with it. We've used it all. And then there's the prevention crew. There are the people who are trying to be cerebral, trying to be very responsible, stay relatively cool and in control, and they want to enjoy the season without overspending and try to keep their good habits going into 2026. But we know that this is very hard, Shanique. And so giving every dollar a job is essential for both of these crews, okay? Because every dollar that comes in, if we know where it's going, if we say, you're going here, you're going there, and we don't just have money sitting around with no responsibility, then we won't get ourselves into problem. There's no free money laying about. There's no floating money because it's labeled and we've given it something to do.
Howard, I love what you said because a friend of mine, we often speak about money and she's like, listen, and while I know you guys will want to jump in on this because I know savings are extremely important. And so she's not saying that, but she's also saying that, listen, if you have these extra monies, just as you talk about how it bonuses, salary increases, and whatever else there is, it's not meant to sit there. Go and assign it. assign it something where it can begin producing residual income.
Yes.
So I like this, guys. So let's just kind of break that down a little bit. When we give in 2026 every dollar a job, let's say you have, you provide a service that is outside of your main job, and that's bringing in some extra monies. The thing is to then go and quickly find something, whether it's an investment fund or if you can find a business or whatever it is, but to quickly assign that, because if you don't, it sits there and you are more likely to go and spend it, is what you're saying?
Yes. Anybody want to jump in? Go in, Brian. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say too, it don't even necessarily have to be an investment. I mean, the thing is, we know if we have kids every year, there's school fees that need to be paid, there's vacations we want to take, the school supplies. So if you have extra money, just put it towards something like that, So it doesn't have to be something brand new, because essentially we're gonna have the same expenses every single year. Christmas is gonna come around every year. Valentine's Day, anniversaries, birthdays. So when you had extra money, just assign it to something instead of just having it sitting idle there, or where it could just get spent easily.
Right, this is what I like. Jay, if you want to jump in, you can do that, but I like that idea because sometimes you figure you just have it there, and before you know it, you look back and that lump sum has absolutely been depleted.
Yes. Go ahead, Jay.
Yes, and that's usually what happens with that. When you have that lump sum and, like, say, you're not doing anything with it, then you feel like you pinch off of it. Oh, let me just, I know I have this extra money. Then next you know, you're pinching, and before you know it, it's gone. So that extra $50 you went out to eat with, or the extra $70 you took the family to go do an event, you keep chipping off of that, and before you know it, that money is gone. So it definitely needs to be assigned somewhere and plan it. So if you want to do those things with your family, okay, let me take this money and set this aside, like Brian was saying, because I know we're going to have this event coming up. They're going to want to have these dances coming up. We want to go on a summer trip to go somewhere, so let's put this aside and assign it. And that way you can explain it to your family. Hey, I understand we want to do this now, but let's go ahead and make sure that we're doing this right so we can plan and enjoy that trip you guys like to take in the summer.
That is.
And Shanique, just one last thing, Shanique. When you give every dollar a job, for the overspend crew, it cleans up the chaos and stops the financial bleeding. You're not going to have time to waste money. And for the prevention crew, those who are trying to be responsible and be intentional with that money, it prevents the chaos from starting. So you're taking a preventative measure of not getting yourself into trouble.
I love that. And I love the way you said about pinch, because that's exactly what we do. We pinch at it, and before you know, you go and you look and you see, like, what happened? Listen, you all, I hope you were paying attention. By the way, grab a pen and paper, write these notes down, because this is truly to benefit you. I hope you understand by now the importance of what these men are giving us, this information. This is extremely important and priceless, quite frankly. I mean, they go around the nation speaking about it. They also go outside the United States, including right here in the Bahamas, and they have seminars and whatnot, and people pay for this information. This is free for you. Remember, this is our life class headed into 2026, and let's do it right? Let's do some stuff right. Emotional and mindset foundation when it comes to money, that's important, because if you don't change those habits, and some things can be sort of, I don't know, some like a family trait, the way you see money and treat money and view money. Let's talk about that and why it's important to shake that. If your family doesn't have a good relationship or a good reputation when it comes to money and don't respect it, it's important that you move away from that narrative.
Yes, you have to normalize those feelings, because there's an emotional and mindset foundation that has to be established, right? And in the overspend crew, you feel that guilt, embarrassment, and that there's anxiety, and there's that feeling of being trapped. And in the prevention crew, there's that nervousness about slipping, making the mistake, that fear of that one big blowout ruining your progress and you wanting to stay on the right track. So you have to start where you are. Overspending is a setback. It's not a life sentence for those in the overspend crew. And for the prevention crew,
that's good right there, Howard. Like, because right now, this is like midweek. It's a few more days until 2026. And so you are saying that if you've done it, and perhaps more people than not have who are watching, it is not the end of oh my God, what did I do? You can actually start right from this point, yes?
Yes, you can definitely start right from this point. Right now, the here and now is the best opportunity that you will have to right size and fix things. Don't just wallow in self-pity. Don't say, I'm done for and I can't do anything to bounce back from this. Where there is light, there is hope. There's information out there. There's people like us out there, and we can help you to get back on the right track. All hope is definitely not lost.
Yes. Guys, of course, you're doing that right now, so thank you all very much. Now, of course, now we are really getting, we are trudging along, you all. We're really getting into the meat of stuff and how you are to first rebound from perhaps what you've done and exceeded even your own budget or what you planned on spending over the holidays. And so we're going to talk when we come back about the reality check and money triage. You know, when you assess a situation and then you try, obviously, like put some remedy to it. We're going to begin right there. This is Beyond the Headlines, getting you fiscally responsible, fiscally in a good space for 2026 so that throughout the year, you take advantage of every single dollar that comes in and you assign that dollar to something that's going to benefit you moving forward. This is Beyond the Headlines. We're back after the break.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
The race to 2026 is heating up, and the nation's voice is louder than ever. Here on Beyond the Headlines, we're checking the mood, the momentum, and the message of the people. I'm Shanique Miller. Each week, we're taking the temperature of the electorate to see what's really driving the nation. Who's connecting? Who's cooling off? What issues are heating up ahead of 2026? This is Temperature Check 2026, where journalism meets the nation's heartbeat.
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. One 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. We are a few days away from 2026, and tonight we are focusing in on the thing that you hold on to most dearly, and then you also kind of throw it away like you don't care about it. Your money. That's right. It makes everything move, and it really is it's what we all need really for daily life. But if you don't treat it with respect and a sign, I love this in the last segment. If you all are just tuning in, we sort of came up with this term: assign every dollar, give every dollar a job. That's hugely important as you move forward into from January all the way to December of 2026. It's important. Assign every dollar a job. I have joining me Young Money Solutions. They are a Florida-based, I guess, financial advising and money solutions company. Nonprofit. They go around not just the United States, but the region and other spaces, teaching people how to respect their money, how to grow their money, and also how to start businesses and the rest of it. But most importantly, just as I said, how to get from where you are, whether that's in debt, at a negative point, wherever on your bank account, to being very, very comfortable in your finances. And I'm happy to have with me Howard Johnson, Byron Ferguson, and Jay Smith. Joining me, the top team there at Young Money Solutions. Thank you once again, gentlemen. Gentlemen, let's talk about this reality check and the money triage. It starts with really giving yourself an honest assessment and accounting of where things stand now.
Yeah, so this is kind of the boring part. So when we do our presentations and whatnot, we kind of, encourage people to bear with us here because this is the part that nobody really wants to do.
No.
But again, if you want to be in a better financial situation, this is something that you have to do. You don't necessarily have a choice about it. So the first thing is, just being honest about where things stand. Like, list, we encourage people to list all of your essential bills, your rent, mortgage, BPL, water, phone, transportation, school fees, all that stuff. List all of that, everything you spend every month. Mm-hmm. List all of your non-essential spending, restaurants, numbers, entertainment, numbers, extra subscriptions, impulse buys. List all those things out and just kind of help you to see where you're at. Then the next thing you want to do is list out all of the debts. So your store cards, credit cards, loans, the money that you owe your family, your friends. Mm-hmm. And again, the whole purpose, depending on who you are, it may be a lot of money, right? But the whole purpose is so that Sorry, say it again?
I say you bet right.
Yeah, and we all have that. Right? But the whole purpose is so that you can know concretely where you stand, a clear picture. A lot of times we just kind of guesstimate. A lot of times if we ask our clients, okay, how much money you have or how much money you make, mm-hmm. they don't necessarily know. How much debt, I don't know. Mm-hmm. How much money do you spend on a weekly basis, I don't know. But the whole thing is that you have to list these things out so you can know clearly where you are and how you need to move forward.
I like that.
From this standpoint.
I like that, Byron. Instead of moving forward blindly, I think I make, or you may even feel so resolute that this is truly what you make, only to maybe get an official printout and say, oh, whoa, this is my salary actually, and this is what I bring in on the side. And you'd be stunned to know that it's so much more. Byron, I want to ask you something. When you say list all of the essential and non-essential and particular spending, can that list be modified where you were like, listen, I don't need the personal trainer. In 2026, if I want to actually make this make sense for me, let me do away with certain things. Can you do that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So again, when you list everything out, you get to see how much things you really don't need. For us on the U.S. soil, as we say home, is that we have a lot of subscriptions. Whether Netflix, Hulu, Walmart, all these different things. And what we always show people is that you don't really need all of these things. And the same will be true for anybody at home. I'm pretty sure if you list those things, you realize that you don't need to spend $50 a week on Burger King or whatever it is. Or you may have some other thing that you paying for, like a Netflix account or something else. You'll be surprised at stuff that you really don't need. And the thing is, you'll also be able to identify the things that they call it it's like almost like a leaky faucet. You know, a lot of us, our bank accounts are like a leaky faucet. Money is dripping, and we're wasting it on a weekly, annual basis.
Wow.
And we don't even realize it. But unless we sit down and write it down, we'll never really know.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jay. You want? Oh, Howard. Yes, go ahead.
Yes. So what I also wanted to do to jump in and add to that is when you're doing the assigning, like Brian said, when you're assigning this money by giving every dollar a job, this is where those funds come in that we talked about throughout this entire year. When you put aside and create those funds, whether you're using the envelopes or whether you're using different savings accounts, you can make sure that you're setting up and assigning every dollar a job by using these various buckets and funds that we talked about throughout
Howard,
the
I
year.
like that.
And you can label them.
Yeah, I like it, Howard, because, and you know, you all remember the envelopes, right? Whether it's
Yes.
a paper envelope, whether it's some leather pouch you get, I don't care if it's an overnight bag. The thing is, have those as first of all, label them, right, Howard?
Yes, yes.
And have those
Yes.
as non-negotiables. You all be talking about 2026 now. We're talking about like really, truly, like for real this time, developing new habits that you will not at all, you will even fight yourself
Absolutely.
to go and interfere with them and the goals that you have for each of them. I mean, you heard these guys have goals in different accounts, and they go and they revisit this stuff to ensure that they've met those goals and how they performed in a calendar year. And then they set new goals for the next one, like for example now 2026. And this is something that we each can do. You know, this is not for just a certain set. This is for anybody who dares and who is willing. And so this evening, of course, we are getting you quite armed with the information that you need to maximize your finances and what comes into your hands, into your bank account or bank accounts in 2026. My guess is the top tier, the executive team of Young Money Solutions. You are familiar with Howard Johnson talking about money and your money and your spending and your savings and your financial health. Well, he's joined now by his top team. I'm very happy to have them here as they sort of prepare us to be better financial stewards in 2026. And so, gentlemen, immediate damage control tools. I know that we have kind of talked about that a lot, but I want to talk about when we go into, for example, the prevention crew, holiday control and protection. How would you lead that off, and the other guys can jump in?
Yeah, so this is about protecting yourself, and this is about controlling yourself. So you got to decide on a total holiday spending limit that does not endanger January or early 2026. So you got to pre-assign your money, and this is where the envelopes and the labeled funds come into play. You got gifts and celebrations, food and hosting, outfits, outings, January bills, and a small cushion. You label
And knowing
envelopes.
that January is about
Yes.
3 months long. Go ahead.
Yes, and for the ladies, right? When you have your fellas who can give you that little thing, right, for Christmas. Now, if you buying gifts and you spending a lot of money, but you know some money is going to be coming back in because that fella can give you that little thing. Now, what you can do is replace some of the outgoing with the incoming. You see what I'm saying? So if you spend $500 and you know you out $500 that you didn't have, and your little sweetie give you that thing for Christmas and it's that $500, now you can start replacing what you have lost in outflow, right? That's now your income. So you have to begin repurposing these monies now that you're going to have as your gifts and the like, and you are going to replace that money because January is coming. You need that rainy day cushion, and you need that emergency fund to be rebuilt.
Yeah, absolutely. As I joked and said, and nobody found it funny, I said January is 3 months is 3 months long. You all see the
Yes.
jokes on social
Yes.
media.
Yes.
The thing is, though, don't be caught with your pants down when you figure, oh my God, it's still January, because of the bills and the desk, and then you just feel like it's super long. I want to know, guys, because Brian, you in particular, you kept talking about kids and school fees and this for kids. How do you all budget spending for the holiday in terms of holiday gifts? You may figure, oh my God, an adult can understand, but kids, they just need several gifts to make it feel like this was really Christmas. How do you all manage that and budget that?
We don't believe in that in the Ferguson household. We don't do that at all. Our kids, we've taught them from a young age that whatever they get is what they get, and just to be grateful for it. So we don't do the 2, 3, 6 gifts. We don't do none of that stuff. Mm-hmm. That's the way we deal with it.
And then you spend, and then you spend, Brian, according to age, I imagine, because a kid, a toddler does not need several $100,000 gift.
Yeah. No. They just need a onesie. That's all they need.
No, what they need? Listen to me. I can see you ain't been in the Bahamas for a while. A toddler need a onesie? No, these people, you mean a onesie from David Yermany?
No, but think about it though. I mean, again, this is where the mindset coming up. Howard spoke about it a lot. We talk about it a lot.
That's it.
It's about a mindset. So it's like, would you rather spend all your money at Christmas and be late for your mortgage or your rent, or spend wisely and have an excess in January? So it's like a mindset.
And then, Shanique, and to add one more thing to that too, if you have the envelope or the fund that is labeled as Christmas gifts or Christmas spending, whatever you have in there, you have to work within that fixed discretionary amount of money. And so if you have to shop deals, if you have to wait until prices drop on things, if there's $1,000 in there, you are capped to $1,000. You are not going to go over that. So you have to make sure that you work in the parameters of your $1,000, and every single person on that Christmas shopping list has to be budgeted within that $1,000.
I love that idea. I tell you, Bahamians need teaching a whole lesson, an entire show on just that idea alone. I absolutely.
Also,
yes.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to chime in on that as well in regards to kids, because I have myself 5 kids. And what I learned and what I could possibly share with others out there, if they're not at that place where they're, doing the buckets, they're doing the envelopes, they like to give, and they're not in control of what they're spending. What I learned over the years, my wife and myself, is we buy as we go. We can start buying gifts in January, February for upcoming Christmas, because at that point, when something goes on sale, you can buy it at that point. And so what I found is we're usually done with our Christmas shopping by like September.
Wow.
Because we're buying as we go through the year. So I learned, of course, the hard way when I was younger. Yes, I would go spend, because we had 5 kids. Go spend. Now I'm looking at January like, oh my word, what did I just do? So I had to learn from that experience. And what we did was we started, as we see things on sale, I hadn't learned about the buckets and things at that point yet. So I would just buy as we see things on sale throughout the year. And before you know it, like I said, by September, we've gotten the things they wanted. We're done. So now I have the next 3 months to recoup whatever I did, because the end of the year hasn't come up yet. So that's what I learned. And that's a way for me to get started and share with others out there that may not be at the point where they're doing the buckets or the envelopes yet. Just buy things on sale during the year, and that way you're not doing it all at once at Christmas, and now you're overdone it and you start out the year in the hole.
Yes, absolutely. Now, of course, when we come back after this break, we're going to talk about learning how your money actually grows. Where do you put your money in 2026? How do you really make your money blossom and bloom and see the interest? We know banks barely give anything. I mean, where is it truly in 2026 that you can put your money and watch your money grow and understand that and also follow it? Also, those apps, in the US in particular, they have subscription to every single thing. Over here, we have caught up somewhat, but how do you also trim that? This is Beyond the Headlines. We're helping you make more sense of your money in 2026. We're back in a moment.
Bahamas is the premier destination for fly fishing because of its unique geography.
We've got the third largest barrier reef in the world in the Bahamas.
We have the largest aggregation of mangroves in the Western Hemisphere.
Which simply means we've got the largest marine biodiversity than anywhere else in the world.
I am unapologetic about Bahamians being owners in our #1 industry.
We should not just say it, we should have it enacted into certain policies.
The Bahamas Fly Fishing Industry Association was instrumental in the 2017 sports fishing legislation. Anyone fishing in the Bahamas who's going to be guiding has to be certified and licensed, and thirdly, they have to be a Bahamian.
And that is historic in that a model of conservation and a model for Bahamianization has been legislated, the only one in the country.
But it also gives Bahamians the opportunity with a sense of pride to know that at the end of the day, I'm contributing to the development of my country and something they can pass on for generations.
The out island of Bahamas, there are no other alternative industry that generates the kind of revenue that fly fishing does. The entire community benefits.
I would always encourage the tourists, people who want to fish, hire a local guide.
The guides in the Bahamas are some of the best trained fly fishing guides in the world. You know it because you see the results in terms of the kinds of fishing they're doing. They're catching the largest bonefish, the largest tarpon, largest permit. That is unique. So this is the lure to all the anglers internationally coming who thinks of the Bahamas as #1 destination for fly fishing in saltwater.
I'm really excited about this initiative that SPTC has brought forth for the fishermen.
If you have great guides and terrible boats and engines and nothing working and all this, you could be the best in the world. And people still have a terrible experience because they could not have a good day on the water.
I think one of the greatest things is to have access to quality capital, but not only having access to the capital, but terms and conditions related to the capital, so we encourage growth and expansion of the industry and professionalism within the industry because of the resources being at hand and having proper guidance.
It'll be a greater impact and they'll have a better experience.
And I foresee it being an opportunity that the guides are taking advantage of in terms of the opportunities for education, awareness, and resources. You always need to advise people, inform them, and then equip them. And so I think this process is essential because it allows the skill sets that are needed in a changing economy and environment, how they could then keep up with operating their small business.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. One 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. So good to have you all tuned in. We are getting you ready in a live class, really, ahead of 2026. We started on Monday with some empowerment and getting you thinking differently. And a lot of this sort of just coincides, yes? It works hand in hand. It's nothing that's sort of separate from the next. But tonight, and particularly, we're focused in on your finances. I mean, come on, if your finances are at a point where it's not making sense for you, then that's unnecessary stress. That's the kind of stress you don't need as well. And so this year, 2026, when you begin earning more, you've got to learn and know how to kind of direct that money properly so that it grows and it makes sense for you and you can see wonderful results and growth by the end of the year. And so my guests in this show this evening are the executive team from Young Money Solutions. They are Florida-based. Of course, you know Howard. Howard is the CEO of Young Money Solutions. He is joined by his team of executives, and they go not just throughout the United States, but in the region and other places through social media, speaking to people, coaching them, steering them in the right direction, helping them to get rid of bad habits and pick up better habits in order to become financially healthy. And that's what they're doing this evening ahead of 2026. Now, gentlemen, before the break, I talk about learning how your money actually grows. I don't know if this even happens in the bank anymore, but compound growth. There is long-term and quick wins. And of course, there's risk. And higher risk. And what do those mean, guys? And how can Bahamians, because I know when you talk about risk and you were like, oh, Shanique, but if you in the markets understand the risk, but the rewards are great. So just break it down for us so that those of us who have a lot more to play with can begin putting our monies elsewhere to watch it do more things.
Yeah. So Shanique. So I mean, when we talk about risk, I mean, in its essence, you know, fundamentally is all about what are you willing to lose. I mean, essentially, that's what it is. Whenever we talk about investing, primarily we talk about investing in stocks or businesses and things of that nature. But the whole thing is we like to, you know, just like one of the first things we like to let people know is that before you even get into it, just do not invest more than you're willing to lose, you know, because everything that we do is a risk. You know, nothing is really guaranteed, and it's very important for people to understand that. So that's when we talk about risk. That's what we're really talking about.
When we talk about yes, go ahead.
Yeah, and so one of the things that I wanted to jump into as far as the banking system that you mentioned, Shanique, I don't know how it works there. In the Bahamas, I no longer have a bank account there, unfortunately. I'm going to open one again soon when I come home again. But here in the United States, you get a paltry 0.01% interest on your checking accounts. And this is at certain banks, the banks that I use here in the United States. I won't call their names. And then on your savings accounts, you get an abysmal 0.03% interest. And so if inflation is 3 and 4%, you can see where the purchasing power of your money sitting in either of those accounts is constantly being eroded because the rate of inflation is higher than the rate of interest that your bank or your financial institution is giving you on your money. And so the fix for us, Brian, myself, and Jay, I dare say, what we do is when we use our accounts, we try to use what is called a money market account, or in our investing accounts, we use a money market fund. And what those things do is they give you a higher rate of interest. Right now, and I looked when we were on the break, my interest rate on one of my accounts, on my money market fund, is 3.8%. And on one of the other ones, it's 4.5. So with that rate being a bit higher than inflation, I am actually gaining some interest on my account that is not just, you know, abysmal, right?
You know, Howard, but excellent, because I'll tell you, the banking system here is no different than the United States. I'm not sure who offers a higher interest, but when you hear about 0.00, you know, it's still, still nothing. What can Bahamians do? Now we have the union, the credit unions and that kind of thing, and they offer more of an interest than traditional banking. But what can Bahamians do in 2026, particularly the individual or individuals who are saying, first of all, I'm off to a late start, I've got to kind of jump a few steps ahead to really just be where I should be. What can they begin doing, gentlemen?
DYOR. DYOR. Do your own research. We have time for everything else. We're going to watch the football game. Super Bowl is coming up. The NBA is in full swing. All of our nice TV shows that are streaming on the various streaming services, we find the time to invest in those things. What we need to do is DYOR. Do your own research. Go and look at the financial institutions, shop and compare. See which financial institution offers the highest rate of return on the money that you are going to have sitting in their institutions every month. And then you owe them no loyalty. You go to the one that works best for you.
And just to add to that, I know when Howard said that, I know again, people may be like, oh, not the same, that's the same response we get over here, because what we found out is that when we kind of hold people's hand and kind of tell them, we have a lot more financial instruments that we can invest in over here. The problem we have is that people still don't DYOR. And it's imperative for you to DYOR because it is your money and your financial future.
So guys, let's talk about, guys, y'all are very quiet. I don't like a quiet panel. What's up, dudes? I mean, y'all are the professionals here. Speak up. Come on. This is it. Bahamas or America. We are one people with one mission to be financially astute. I don't like a quiet. Y'all aren't even convincing me. Y'all have not pulled me in. Let's make this happen in the next few minutes of the show, guys. Come on.
We just understand we all have these passions. We just don't want to talk over each other because we all have these passions about wanting to get the information across. So we try to be mindful of each other's time, but I understand what you're saying. So let's
she'll just jump in. Shaniqua, she'll pull us back. She'll say, okay, let this one talk. Just jump in there. Let's go. Yeah.
So gentlemen, let's talk about apps and not being, and then AI. But everything really geared at whether it's scamming, getting your money, but these apps in particular, the subscriptions. I'm not a subscription person. I hate when I have to go and buy more Apple space, for example, and whatever it is. But sometimes it's very necessary. No, but I hate that little monthly thing. I don't care if it's $2.99 or whatever it is. I just hate to know that that's what's happening. But some things are necessary, though, in order to be able to properly function and carry out your duties and your work. And other things are like, you don't need that. So what is it that we can do this year for trimming? 2026, trimming where the extra money is going, where you haven't even been on that thing for the last month, but yet you have it there.
All right, for me, for those with families that have kids, I'm guilty of the streaming services, and a lot of times I'll have them and not even realize it. Like Brian said, we have to keep ourselves accountable. So I'll look at that list and like, oh man, signed up for this one. Oh man, this one. I'm like, oh, much before you know it, there's 5 subscriptions I have. So I can let the kids utilize these things. I'm like, really, do I need these, right? So I'm guilty of that. So I have to reel myself back, just keeping it 100, everyone. I have to reel myself back in. It's like, okay, I don't need this, I don't need it, I don't need that. Okay, yes, the kids, I have to find other activities for them, whether that's going outside, whether that's going on bike rides, going to the park. So we have to do other things to entertain ourselves versus sitting at home, gaming and flipping through different applications on your TV. So because before you know it, they just like, oh, I want to see this show. It's on this streaming network. It's a different one that we don't have. So before you know it, that's another one added on.
And you can get pulled in. You're right, Jay. You can get pulled in because, I mean, especially these TV streaming services now, or the streaming services rather. I mean, they have now shifted where they are now the entertainment. So while you're paying for basic cable because you need to have that with your internet, you're now paying for the extras because that's where the real good quality, whatever it is you want. So the thing is, you just got to decide what you want, how you want it, and if it's that important to you for you to invest in monthly, or you're going to say for now, no, I'll come back to that.
Yeah, and one of the things.
And the thing with that, Shanique. Oh, I'm sorry. And the thing with that, Shanique, go ahead. It used to be the cable service, right? So everyone had the cable. So we don't want cable. We don't spend $80 a month. So it became a la carte. So I get this $5 streaming service, then it's $10 streaming service, and it's a $14. Before you know it, you're right back at the $80 or more with all the separate streaming services because you're doing it a la carte. So we just have to be mindful of that as well. Go ahead, Howard.
And one of the things we can do to really eliminate wastage, Shanique, in this area is, let's look at the streaming services, right? This is do your own research again. You look at the streaming services. If you say Disney Plus and Paramount Plus or Disney Plus and Netflix, right? There's kid-friendly programming in all of the streaming services. And sometimes when you look at it, there's overlap. A kid is a kid is a kid, right? So they just want fun. They want their animated, they want their cartoons, they want all of this stuff, right? But you just have to choose one. You can get all of the content that they would love and appreciate in Disney Plus without having to pile on with Paramount Plus or Hulu or Netflix as well. And it's overkill because your kids will never be able to watch all of the stuff that's on 4 streaming services that you are paying for in an entire month.
Absolutely.
Pick one and roll with that. A kid is a kid is a kid.
Absolutely.
And the next thing too, sorry, Shanique, I was just going to say the next thing too is, again, it goes right back to defining what needs and wants are. Again, in our mind, we want to keep it with the Joneses so bad. You know, we want to have everything, but the reality is that you don't need everything.
Absolutely, totally, guys. And guys, listen, I want each of you to speak to my audience as we wrap up. And I hope that you all gained some wonderful insight, quite frankly, and some doable things, some tangible ideas that you can really master your money in 2026, throughout 2026, in fact. But I want each of you to, I guess, sort of have a wrap-up comment around the thought of give each dollar a job. Give your money a job to do in 2026, and that alone will make you absolutely winning financially in 2026.
For me, I'll say start with paying yourself first. You are the most important bill that you will ever have. You pay Mr. Cable, you pay Mr. Water, you pay Mr. Light, you pay Mr. Rent, you pay Mr. Mortgage. Treat yourself as a bill. Reroute a certain amount of money every month and treat you as a future bill that must be paid. And you save that for financial priorities. Look, it's easy to get started. All you have to do is make the first attempt. And when you make that first payment, no matter how small, it's $5 into an account that is your pay yourself first account going into 2026. That first attempt, you turn that into a routine. And then that routine turns into a habit. And then that habit turns into a system. And once it becomes a system, that system will kick in and work, and you will never have to worry about getting yourselves into problems again.
I love it.
Yeah, and what came to my mind next after that is, you definitely want to pay yourself first, but, Howard spoke well about the different buckets and the different funds, and I would encourage you to create a dream fund. Again, we work super hard not to enjoy the fruits of our labor.
Byron,
so I encourage you.
wait a minute, Byron. Wait a minute. What would that dream fund look like?
Whatever you want, man. You want to buy? You want to go to Dubai for a week or two? You want to go to Greece?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You want to buy a house? Like whatever your dream is. Again, these things.
Good. So just save it for saving it, because it's for something. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And again, see, that's why when you think about it, usually we talk about cutting stuff, right? So if you know that, okay, I'm saving for a trip to Olympics. So that's that's one of the things I'm actually putting funds towards. The Olympics is in 2028. So because I know I want to do that, I'm not gonna be worried about spending a bunch of money for Christmas on my kids.
Absolutely.
I'm worried about having 10 streaming services because I'm looking at that dream fund.
Yes.
And again, it could be for anything that you desire,
I like that.
And, so that's something I'd encourage people with, like, hey, think about it like that, That way it's easier to take control of your finances when you're actually shooting for something tangible.
I like it. I like it. Let's hear what you have to say.
All right. For me, to wrap up, what I would want to say to the audience is, most of us, myself, Brian and Howard, we have the same bio. We came from similar backgrounds, which a lot of you probably have those same backgrounds. What I want to say is, take the first step. All of this sounds good, but if you're not taking that first step, it means nothing. It will always be a dream or a goal that is never achieved. So unless you're putting either of these things in action, you will be in that same predicament. So my takeaway is, please Take that step, whatever that step may be. Like they said, GYOR. Whatever that means for you.
Yes.
Take that step, and it will definitely pay off, and you will back at yourself and be like, wow, I'm glad I did that.
Jay, I think that you wrapped it up so beautifully, because everything they said for the last hour, every single thing they said will be nothing. You just decided you was going to watch Beyond the Headlines tonight if you don't take that first step. In 2026, you all, let's be very intentional, me included. Like hi, I learned from every show you see me have on. I'm learning, I'm taking notes, I'm paying attention, and I also know that I can reach out to those guys. But I brought them to you, and so let's do it together. Let's take that first step, and let's do many of these things. Even if it's just one, just start with one of them. It's going to start you and put you on a sort of a path to making a difference financially. I thank you all so much. Young Money Solutions, Howard Johnson, we got Jay Smith and Byron Ferguson, the top tier there at Young Money Solutions. Guys, come back again. We used to seeing Howard. Howard, bring your team. And we can speak again as we continue to educate each other and have you all educate us, as you often do all over the United States and elsewhere. Thank you once again. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you for watching. By the way, it's so awesome having you tuned in all year long, and this week in particular, as we have this life class for you, whether it's your mental and emotional state, where you head with your life, and obviously your finances. Thank you very much for tuning in. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.